Hey guys, Adam from Frag Garage here. I'm going to give you a little run through my systems in the garage. As you can see, it is a garage, and there's the garage door. This is the main SPS system, LPS system, and then in the back corner there's other SPS sort of quarantine system. So I'll go through them all here. So yeah, this is the first system I'm going to show you. It is primarily LPS and softies. Sometimes when I import corals, I'll put the SPS in here for a couple weeks, kind of as a pre-quarantine. Since there's no other SPS, if there's anything on them, then they won't affect anything else in the system. So, and then the next stage is they go to that system. So I'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, so this tank is 9 feet by 4 feet by 16 inches. And the reason I kind of built it this size was just kind of based on the space I have. I was able to, I wanted to be able to walk around it from every side. And plus this garage door is here. So I had to find a way to hang this. The lighting is 10 XR15 blue Gen 5 Radions. And I kind of built my own rack system out of 80/20 rail. And it's worked out pretty well. I guess we'll just walk through some of the corals here. So lots of really nice Goniopora, some acans. So zoanthids, I'll just go through my Gonioporas because they're freaking nice. Let's think about a Goni there. Took me a while to get a frag of that. Lots of really nice bright reds, greens, yellows. This one is really, really nice. They're all really nice. All right, and then yeah, this is kind of where I keep most of the hammers and frog spawns, you know, the type of euphyllia that get along with each other. And I would say that 75% of these are grown from my own frags over the years. Actually, when I moved here, this tank was the only one I moved from the old location, and it used to be full of LPS. So when this tank was set up about a year ago, I've just sort of gradually started turning it into the main LPS system. There's some Blastos. Some of the newer imported torches that take a little bit of time to color up. Most of my torches here are also aquarium grown. And actually this is the OG Holy Grail, which I found out fairly recently is bred in captivity. So it was actually a torch spawn that created this variant. So it's probably a unique variant to our aquariums. Yeah, I think the same might go for, this is the master torch in between those guys there. Some more Holy Grails. They're really nice. In this section I keep a little lower light, lower racks, just mostly chalices, favias, stuff like that, some Lobos. It's like the Miami Hurricane Chalice. Likes low light, that's for sure. So flow, I've got 2 MP40s on either side here. Red Sea Gyre 45 on each side here. And then the returns are 2 Core 20s, and I've got those down to about 50%. Just because I find that's about as much as I need. It's more about having the redundancy. Okay, I'm not going to spend much time down here because it's a mess, but there's a calcium reactor. It's a GeoReef 8x18, and that pretty much takes care of, I'd say, 90% of the tank's major element needs, and I dose calc at night, kind of compensate for the pH swing. So the pH doesn't actually change much on this tank. Also, this middle chamber, it is on a reverse lighting period. Usually I just turned it on, but there's an ATI Stratton, and I just kind of keep my extra Zoas down here. And yeah, Protein Skimmer is a Reef Octopus Elite. I think it's the 250. It's a really awesome skimmer for the money, so high recommend for sure. So the only thing I really dose on this system is this Microelements A and B by Fauna Marin, and it's basically the trace elements that you don't get out of your calcium reactor media. So I dose this, they say to do once a week, but I split it up into 2 doses twice a week. So I am running UV on this system. Mostly I added it because I was losing the occasional head of my Euphyllia, and I could only assume it was bacterial. So since adding it, it's been like way better. I don't lose almost anything anymore. Occasionally something just comes in rough and you can't do much about it, but I would say just keeping the UV running is probably preventative from spreading bacteria to more stuff. So this is sort of my secondary SPS slash quarantine system, and it's getting pretty full right now. I've been bringing in some orders, so these are kind of at various stages of coloring up. Some of them are starting to look pretty freaking nice though. All right, so this is the main SPS system. It is two 6x3 frag tables by 14 inches high, and they're both plumbed into the same sump. All the equipment is on the other side, so it keeps it kind of separate. And this system has been up since 2020, probably the end of 2020. However, it was all of my SPS got moved from the previous location, so I just moved them all into this system. And you can see it's pretty damn full. Keep more of the frags on this side, more of the old school SPS on this side. And the lighting on these is just like the other quarantine tank. It's Aquatic Life hybrids with XR15s, and then this side has Orfec bars, the other side has reef brights. And I kind of like both of them for different reasons, so I just kind of thought I'd try something different on each tank for now. Some Monties I really need to get rid of. They're not worth the real estate. Okay, so I've turned the flow way down and the T5's off so we can see a little more from the surface down. This is my TGC Cherry Bomb, probably one of my favorite tenuous. It's just super nice. Fast grower, actually. I think I started this from a frag in late April last year, and it is the end of June right now, so about 14 months from a frag to that. And I've made lots of frags off of it. Home wrecker, a couple of Walt Disney colonies. We've got the torts, the Cali tort, Oregon tort, and we call this one the West Coast tort. It's pretty awesome too. Rainbow loom. This one is called Lemon Demon, Yellow Fever. There's a few different similar strains, but I would say none of them are quite as nice as the Lemon Demon because it's got that pink in it too. Lots of Hawkins echinata. That grows really nice and fast for me. This Ghani just has the biggest polyps I've ever seen. It's huge. This is a really great Aussie piece I call Tangerine Shortcake. Another Acropora microclados, like all strawberry shortcakes. This is my home wrecker. The polyp extension hasn't been very good lately, but the color looks pretty good, so I'm not complaining too much. I just get a little worried about it when the polyps aren't out, as usual. Some more firecrackers down there. Love my Latistella species. So one type, there's another type here. Super nice. This one is pretty cool. It's CC Blaze of Glory. Red Planet, always a really nice classic. A few more of my favorite pieces here. The Reef Raff USA Firecracker. This is kind of like a Walt Disney home wrecker morph new piece for me. It's looking pretty cool. Orange Passion, obviously one of the all-time best. This is Gila Monster. I believe this is a Latistella species. This is Four Seasons, which is actually, it's not a millie, it's a hyacinthus, I believe, from Indo. And actually, these are a couple of hyacinthus that are probably from Fiji, and they have a much tighter growth form. This one's probably the same as the TSA Bill Murray, but we don't have that in Canada. So flow on this system, I'm running 2 Vector M2s, and I have each pump going to both tanks because there's 2 outlets on each tank. So if one fails for any reason, I have the redundancy, and then one of those pumps is on a big ass battery backup. So I get quite a few hours of backup flow out of that, and those run at 100% all the time. Over here I've got a Gyre 250, another Gyre 250, MP40s. Down here there is another Gyre 250 under the racks, and I find this works well because all the detritus generally ends up in this corner, and I just siphon it a couple times a week. The other side is pretty similar. I've got a couple of Gyre 350s, and then another 250 and MP40s over here too. A lot of people ask me what additives I use, and I try to keep it pretty simple. Probably the main thing is just keeping my nitrates and phosphates up. So I use this ESB ionic nitrate. It is calcium nitrate, I believe, and some nitrate supplements are potassium nitrate. And potassium is obviously a good thing in reef tanks, but I don't like not knowing how much I'm putting in. And if you're adding a fair bit, you need to be careful. Same goes with the Neophos, similar kind of product. So I use these both to keep my nutrients in a good ratio. Elements by Fawn and Marin. I'm just kind of adding these to make up for some of the trace elements that get used by the corals regularly. I'm finding my ICPs are coming back better since I've been using it. I definitely underuse it, and I split it up over multiple doses a week as opposed to just one big dose a week. And it seems to be doing good things. The flatworm stop is probably a little bit more of an unusual thing. I don't have flatworms in this system. However, I found that many years ago when I used to dose it, that my acros just did better, especially compromised acros. So I started using it about a year ago after I had some issues, and things started looking really good. So I've just kept using it ever since. So major elements, I am using this very large GeoReef calcium reactor. It fits 50 pounds of reborn in it. So I don't have to top it up very often. Nice big reaction chamber. And let's see what my effluent dose right now. It is 42 mils a minute is what's coming out of there. So I split the consumption up between dosing and the reactor. I don't really like to have all my dependency on one method, and I do see benefits to both. So my 2-part is my own bulk additives that I mix up and I add trace to it. And that pretty much does it. Oh yeah, the calcium reactor does turn off at night. This is a newer thing. It comes off at night. And I dose calc at night just to make up for the swinging pH. And also my alkalinity stays more stable throughout the day by turning it off at night too, because more of the consumption happens during the daytime hours anyways, so as the pH gets higher. My control panel, definitely not winning any prizes on Instagram, but I have everything there, nice and accessible, and it does the job, so good enough.